it's another example of the set of things we should be thinking about at the moment and looking at, which we just don't. Why don't we? Because it's sort of shut down because we shut it down ourselves. I think it's just such a range of issues this is the case with. And it's always the same thing. It's always that if you address the question, difficult as it might be, you are attacking an individual who might suffer from it, who might be upset by us addressing the question. I mean, I have a lot of suspicions about all sorts of things. I'm a very, skeptical person, as it were, about things that I'm told. So I'd like to look into things. I'm amazed at the number of things in our societies that we just don't discuss. And they're all the things that we ought to be discussing. Issues like mental health issues. Issues that have to do with the social presumptions that are going on left, right and centre at the moment, where you're not meant to discuss things that are, apart from anything else, very, very interesting and very important. And I just see it everywhere. This might, by the way, so this is a slightly strange segue to make, but there was a fascinating one in Britain a couple of days ago. A slightly lighter subject, but there was not that much lighter. But there's a diver in the UK called Tom Daley who married a screenwriter from Hollywood called Dustin Lance Black. And it was announced a couple of weeks ago on Valentine's Day that they were having a baby. And there was a photograph of them holding a scan they sent out on their Twitter, the two men who are married who have an ultrasound scan. And all of the papers and the BBC and everyone else reported saying, Dustin and Tom are having a baby. And, I mean, I'm gay and I don't think I'm homophobic, but I looked at this and I was like,
How?
Like,
is there someone else involved?
I mean, there's the old joke, gays can't have children. It doesn't mean we can't keep trying. But I just looked at this and I thought, nothing in the articles about this tells me anything I would like to know. Like, I know that they didn't just have a roll around and woke up in the morning and one of them was preggers. I know that. And I know that there has to be a woman involved at some point. We know this. But we are meant to just, adapt. Okay, great, cool. And it's almost as if it's set up so that somebody says, wait, isn't a woman, isn't there a uterus at some point?
Right.
So that then everyone goes, bigot.
Right.
Homophobe, racist, sexist, xenophobe.
Yeah, everything, whatever we
use
got.
whatever we've got. And of course somebody did.
Really?
Somebody from the Daily Mail wrote a column saying, come on, two dads isn't the new normal, sort of thing. And of course then everyone piled in on that, and all these advertisers withdrew their advertising. But this was just on, this was like literally until the day before yesterday, it was possible to say, I don't think two guys can just have sex and make a child. Literally that was okay until the day before yesterday. And it's not okay today, so what will not be okay tomorrow? And I just think, and I wrote about it, and maybe a couple of other people ended up doing it too, but I think that's really interesting. Like a lot of this other stuff, I think it's really interesting about this, that the things that seem very obvious to us are all the things you're not meant to write about, almost as if they're like booby traps waiting to go off.
Yeah.
And I just think, well, why don't more people pile on in?
Right.
Because we could have a heck of a time. And we might also solve some things.
Well, people don't want to pile in on anything involving gender or sexuality. It's just too scary.
No.
It's a landmine field.
Sure.
They just, they just can't walk in, especially, as you said earlier, people with regular jobs.
Yeah.
If you get called out for being a racist or a homophobe or anything along those lines, you're doomed.
Sure. It's but in that case, anyone who does have a voice, as a writer, a speaker, whatever, broadcaster, I think has a disproportionate duty to do so.
Right.
To do so, I mean, there's no point in just repeating those same new lies. There's a disproportionate duty to try to break them down.
Yeah.
I can't remember, one of my favourite quotes is that one from H.L. Mencken, who says, that history was always progressed by jolly fellows heaving dead cats into sanctuaries and going roistering down the byways of the world. And I wish that there were more dead cat heavers. Because It's not such a bad job. You can make a living sometimes, and it's one of the only things worth doing if we're all going to be told lies and expected to go along with them, whether it's about terrorism or gay parenting or mental health or anything else. Whole set of them. It's a really target-rich environment.
It is, and I think there's more people doing that now than ever before, but it's more people like you and I who can kind of get away with it.
Yeah, I don't know why do you think you get away with it, by the way?
Me?
Yeah.
Because you can't take me seriously.
Right.
I'm a cage fighting commentator and a dirty comedian.
Right.
I mean, nobody's listening to me and taking me seriously in that regard.
Well, you obviously are.
Well, sort of. I just, first of all, I'm a kind person. I think that helps. Like, I'm not a mean person.
Right.
When I'm saying these things, I'm saying these things from, I'm going, what? What the fuck is this? Like, here was one that I thought was really fascinating. And this is a great example of how strange we get on subjects. Caitlyn Jenner. When Caitlyn Jenner transitioned, that was the primary thing that people were talking about. Oh my God, she's a woman now. And it was right after she had been spacing out behind the wheel, slammed into a woman and pushed her into traffic in a head-on collision, and the woman died. And that was almost just completely forgotten.
Yes.
Completely forgotten.
Yes.
Not only that, she doesn't believe in gay marriage.
Right.
Like, you have the wrong spokesperson. I mean, you could not have a more wrong spokesperson.
Yeah.
But yet, ESPN and Glamour Woman of the Year and all these different things and Athlete of the Year and wearing dresses and fabulous and glam and let's get your chin shaved down.
Right.
Because that's who you really are.
Yeah.
Who you really are is not this person there. No, you gotta shave your chin down.
But it goes back to that thing about the almost as if you're being dared.
Yes, you're being dared to discuss it.
I said this to Sam Harris. I got him into trouble just on his podcast by saying this, and he didn't attack me. Apparently he got a whole load of transphobe accusations because of me saying something. But I said to him, I thought what was happening was that we were being asked not only to agree that Bruce Jenner had become Caitlyn Jenner and that Caitlyn Jenner was a woman, but that you had to find her attractive.
Yes, you have to say she's beautiful.
If you didn't want to shag Caitlyn Jenner, you were just like, and I find those ones are just. There was one the other week. It's a bit like the gay parenting thing. It's like I dare you. You just try pretending that Tom and Dustin can't have a baby. And it was the same with, there was a little while ago, there was a boy in Britain who I can't remember whether he wanted to turn up to school in a dress. So he's like 9 years old, and there was a row. I can't remember whether the school said yes or no, but it was a big thing. And then it became like, weigh in on the behalf of the 9-year-old trans kid. I've got lots of questions to ask there.
Yeah.
And then it became the 9-year-old kid became a model for a fashion shoot, and then it's like, find the 9-year-old boy who says he's a girl attractive and say it's beautiful. How much more do you want to push people? Like, no.
So they're rewarding.
They're like, isn't she lovely?
Right.
Like, what are you doing to us? Like, what are you trying to make us agree to?